It's a terrifying plane crash caught on video. A private cargo plane crashes near Bagram Air Force Base in Afghanistan. All 7 crew members were killed in that crash. You see the videotape there. I want to bring in John Nance. He is an aviation expert and analyst for ABC News. He's in San Juan Islands in Washington State. All right, so John, as we look at this, it's just horrific, and it just looks like slow motion, but that's real time, seeing this giant cargo plane flying and then suddenly just kind of take a dive and just slowly soar and then crash to the ground. You know, it's difficult to know at this point what happened because they're still investigating, but just from your vantage point as an expert, what do you think happened? Was this kind of an engine failure issue?
No, I doubt seriously that we're going to have anything to do with engine failure here. I think basically what we're looking at is the fact that, I say fact, the speculation that the cargo in the airplane probably shifted as it rotated to take off. And that's just happened before a few times in history. If that happens and enough stuff moves back in the airplane, it can move it out of what we call the center of gravity envelope. And in that case, it's going to be difficult, if not impossible, for the crew to keep the nose down, keep enough forward airspeed over the wings. And the problem is, and what you saw in this video, if there's not enough airspeed over the wings, you basically just become a big piece of metal.
Wow. Well, now this is a civilian flight, but I've been on military cargo planes, and they strap everything down for that very reason, to prevent any kind of, large cargo shipment vehicles from shifting on that plane. Wouldn't that be the case even if this were a civilian cargo flight?
Yeah, Frederico, you can absolutely guarantee that the loadmasters on this had everything down, or in other words, they had it tied down, and they had it tied down, I'm sure, in accordance with the books. But the fact is that if one thing breaks away, a chain breaks and a cascade starts, one vehicle goes into another, which goes into another. I mean, there are many different scenarios we could come up with. But what we see here is evidence of an airplane that cannot get its nose down no matter what the crew does. And that's why they stalled and as I say, ended up just literally falling out of the sky.
And in general, this is a conflict region, and this air base, Bagram, is still very much in a hot zone. The pilots generally try to climb as quickly as they can for safety reasons. Can this potentially play into whether there is a shift of the cargo in the plane, that kind of scenario that you've already painted?
It could easily do that, because if the crew pulled the nose up high enough, in other words, to get a good, clean getaway as rapidly as they could, to climb as rapidly as they could, it's going to create a greater deck angle, and that would play right into the hands of a situation where there was a weak chain or a weak link somewhere. This isn't definitive. It's all speculation at this point, but we will get the voice recorder and the flight recorder, and I really do think that's what we're going to find. All
right, Jim Nance, and again, tragically, 7 crew members were killed in that crash. Thanks so much for helping us to understand what potentially could have happened. John Nance, aviation expert, thank you.